the fifth Sunday of Lent, and we might call it Friendship Sunday. Might be one way to listen to and pray with the gospel. It's another long gospel from John with a wonderful story. But I have a story that might help. I once was flying, it was a late night flight into New York City, and the pilot said, we're coming into Kennedy, we're over Newark. And I started thinking of all the people that are down there, who are flying around. And then I, for some reason, thought of all the people who have lived there and died there, and all the cemeteries there since Peter Stuyvesant bought the island. And I said, boy, that's a lot of bodies going to rise. I said, I'm not so sure about the resurrection of the body. It must be. And all of a sudden, the plane went like that. And I said, okay. I believe, at least until we get safely inside the terminal. And then we landed, and the stewardess, flight attendant, said, welcome to New York City. We hope you enjoy your stay here or wherever your final destination is. I said, wow, that's just what I was reflecting about landing, my final destination. And I decided not to doubt until I get safely inside the terminal, but to live with the invitation to life. The gospel today continues the stories that we have had of Jesus meeting the woman at the well and giving her back her life, and the man born blind and how Jesus gave him back his sight. Sight and life are the same for Jesus, believing. And today we have a gospel of Martha and Mary, a friend of Jesus, and their brother Lazarus. And Lazarus is reported to Jesus as having died. And he delays a while Martha and Mary are grieving. And then he comes. Now there's symbolism going on here, as there was with the water in the well and the clay cleaning the man's eyes from blindness. So we have Lazarus already in the tomb for 3 days, and a rock in front of it, a stone, and we have a discussion about the resurrection, the final destination. Jesus says, I loved Lazarus. I can weep for him. I have love for humanity. Lazarus, come out. So they rolled the stone, and Lazarus comes out from the cave, from his burial place. Now there's symbolism in there for us. We'll get to that. And then Jesus says, not only call him out, but untie him. More symbolism. That there is life, a gift to Lazarus. So some kind of freedom. What does the cave represent? Now, we're in this season. Next Sunday is Palm Sunday or Passion Sunday. And then 2 weeks from today is Easter. What is this redemption? What does being saved mean? Saved from what? It can sound very judicial. We're judged free, guiltless, saved, redeemed. But in John's gospel, it's more. The woman at the well returned to her community. The man born blind was now in relationship between his family and the Pharisees, but living, seeing himself more clearly, what life was about. What does the tomb represent in John's gospel? I think it's about the past. And Lent and what we're coming toward in Passion Sunday and Easter is what the woman at the well had to do to live with freedom from the darkness of regret, freedom from something, from whatever is killing to the spirit. And Jesus is looking at each of us in our prayer, saying, I want to call you out. I weep for you because you're weeping for yourself. Locked up. And Jesus is the stone, then, releasing Lazarus to come out from whatever was keeping him dead of spirit and body, coming to life, but he was still bound. And Jesus said, untie him, unbind him, take those cloths of death away. So his face and his hands and arms and legs and feet, what does that represent? It's not just being freed from, but it's being freed for. That redemption is being freed from what confines us. Our guilt, shame, regret, mistakes, habits that keep us bound to our selfishness, to taking care of ourselves. And Jesus, according to John's gospel, life is the gift of Jesus. Life from and life for. And so these days of praying with John's gospel is how tempted we are to find comfort in regret, in the lazy boy of self-diminishment, of guilt, and relationally, not judicially, not judgmentally, but friendship-wise, he's saying, I weep for you because you are weeping instead of living. And then he unties Lazarus and asks us to be freed for walking, touching, seeing and speaking, hearing, involving. And that's Easter resurrection. So the resurrection is now. It's not after death, though what it is, I don't know. I don't know how all those people are going to hop out of the graves in New York or anywhere. I don't know that. But I know resurrection now. I know that I don't have to be untied by my own tying myself to myself, for myself. Protection, hiding, shame. Having my face, shame is got to do with, I can't face it. It's facing up, it's showing up, and it's reaching out and walking toward. That's resurrection now. And that's what he offers to Lazarus and to Mary and Martha and to the believers in Jesus. We're not judged, we're found. We're not bound, we're sent. So that's our Lenten prayer, this family or friendly Sunday of Lent. Come out and play. Come out and relate. And that is wherever your final destiny takes you.